Okay, so let's say you're given something like this that you have to simplify. This is a pretty common scenario on the SAT that you're given some kind of polynomial or quadratic on the top and then, just something on the bottom. And it, in some way, will ask you to find a simplified version. So given sort of the way we were approaching previous problems, it's not very obvious how we can actually, simplify this. We don't see an x plus 1 on the top, and this is two terms. Anyways, it just doesn't lend itself to being solved the way we were looking at it before. So what can we do? Well, notice that the top is actually a quadratic, and this solution works, especially often for when you have a quadratic on the top, because with quadratics, you can most of the time factor them. And if you can factor it, you'll break it up into factors, and then perhaps something will cancel out. That won't always be the case, but often enough it is. And the only way you can figure out whether or not that works is to go ahead and factor it. So we need to find two numbers that add to get -3 and multiply to get -4. That'll be -4 and +1. So that means the top here factors into x plus 1 and x minus 4 all over x plus 1. Now you see we've reached a stage where it's very obvious what cancels out. Again, some problems on the SAT, they'll just give you the factored form immediately and you can sort of work with that from there. But when it gives you the quadratic, just don't forget to factor first, get into this form, and then move from there. It won't always be the case that something will cancel, although I would recommend checking your work if you get some solution that doesn't cancel, because most of the time that's sort of what they're going for. But in this case, we factored it correctly. We got x plus 1 on the top and on the bottom. Since this is being bound by multiplication, we can just go ahead and cancel these out. And your answer here would just be that it simplifies to x minus 4. Okay, so let's go over one more kind of simplification problem, and then I'll give you some practice to do on your own.